So Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire came out, and as someone who's a fan of the monsterverse and monster movies in general, I thought I would give this one a go. And just a heads up, I will be spoiling most of this movie, so do with that information what you will. Godzilla X Kong picks up a few years after the events of Godzilla vs. Kong, where they ended up fighting and then beating up Mechagodzilla together. This movie, however, centers around Kong looking for others like him, and he ends up befriending a little Kong. Now, I'll be honest, I thought I wouldn't like the little King Kong that much when I first saw him in the trailers, but honestly, he's actually pretty funny in this movie. For the first half, he is so sassy when dealing with Kong, and Kong is just like forcing this kid to take him to his leader against his will. The little shit even at one point lures Kong into the water in hopes that a sea dragon will attack him and kill him so he can escape. Meanwhile, Godzilla spends pretty much the entire movie powering up off screen like an episode of Dragon Ball Z and also turning pink. Besides the plot of Kong on his side mission to meet the Scar King, who is the evil big baddie in this one, who also has a pet ice dragon that he's holding against his will, we get unfortunately stuck with the boring humans. Dan Stevens is playing a character named Trapper, who's a giant monster vet, and his introduction is him flying in on a ship and pulling out King Kong's tooth. Brian Tyree Henry is back from the last one, and he is hands down the best part of this movie. Everything he does is so over the top and wonderful, and though there is way too much human plot in this movie about giant monsters beating each other up, he's in most of the human scenes, which makes them way more enjoyable. When they end up traveling to Hollow Earth to see what's going on, the movie decides it's going to take an acid trip, and he is hilarious the entire time. Rebecca Hall is back from the last one as well, and her adopted daughter Gia, who can chat with Kong, is back and is the main focus of the human plot. It's almost a 2-hour movie, and most of the monster fights happen after about an hour and 15 minutes into the movie. There are a couple scenes in the beginning of the movie where there's monsters fighting, but you never get to see how they play out because just as the fight is getting good, the movie cuts back to the human characters. But honestly, it doesn't take away from the movie that much, or at least not enough to take you out of how entertaining the rest of the scenes with the actual monsters are. That is one big thing I liked about this movie, and that's how it gives all of the monsters their own personalities. Kong is shown to be more sensitive and caring throughout his entire search for his own people, and it's especially noticeable in how he treats the little Kong. Godzilla, however, is shown to be an angry, stinky little fart. And it's nice to know that they never change. What I think makes this movie a fun ride is how the level of insanity only seems to grow as the movie goes on. In all the trailers, they show you Kong's Gauntlet, but the way he actually gets it is so funny to me. While battling the ice dragon, it freezes his arm and he gets frostbite. But the whole thing takes place in Hollow Earth, so how does Kong get the gauntlet, you might be asking? Oh, the humans just happen to have a base in Hollow Earth, and that base just also so happens to have the one-of-a-kind prototype power gauntlet that they made for Kong for no particular reason at all. There's also the fact that Godzilla keeps sleeping in the Colosseum in Rome. There's a fight early on in the movie where he fights a giant crab-like monster in Rome, and then afterwards he just takes a nap in the Colosseum, and when the movie ends, he goes back to the Colosseum to take another nap like he's some little dog on his pet bed. The movie just adds so many nonsensical things that comes across as funny, even if that's not what the movie is going for at all. And the third act is exactly what you're waiting for when it comes to a movie like this. Godzilla and Kong team up with Mothra, and they fight MMA style against Evil Kong and the ice dragon. Every monster fight scene is so over the top and fun to watch that I was the only one laughing in my theater because of how dumb funny I thought it was. I mean, the movie literally ends with King Kong and Godzilla giving each other a head nod of respect, and I laughed so loud that the people next to me shot me a look. At the end of the day, if you enjoy these monster movies that have come out over the last decade, then you're probably gonna enjoy this one too. So I would put Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire into a new category that I call pretty fun. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this Magnum Mini, make sure to check out my video on Monster Hunter, a forgotten video game movie. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below a movie you'd like to see me cover in the future.